Hello, everyone. My name is Lola Afalabi. I am the founder of Healthy Credit Habits, and today is Fix It Fridays. I am super excited to be here yet another week to share some great content and information with you. Today's topic is updating personal information on your credit report. So the goal really is to make sure that you understand the importance of not only checking your credit report on a regular basis to make sure that the information being reported and reflected is accurate and complete, but also to make sure that as you work to resolve any issues on your credit report, that information that's being pulled or being reported, that it's pulling from an address that is accurate and current for you. So let's dive right in. So our credit reports, they contain sensitive information that can range anywhere from your name, date of birth, social security number, your employer, your bill pay history, and payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score. Any lawsuits that you may have been party to that were filed, and also any bankruptcies, just to name a few. There are definitely more pieces of personal information, but these are some of the top candidates that you typically will find on a consumer credit report. And as I previously mentioned, it is important to check it regularly to confirm that this information is up to date. One reason why as well is when you are perhaps, let's say, applying for credit or applying for a job, and they pull your report and there's information on there that A, may not belong to you, or B, it does belong to you, but it could be reporting some misinformation that could impact your ability to receive a line of credit. It could also impact the amount of interest that you're paying on that credit. It can also put in jeopardy your ability to secure a job. Let's say you're looking for a job where you need a security clearance, or a job that requires you to handle large sums of cash. It's very important that your information is current and up to date. So definitely be aware of that. Now, what should you do if your information is incorrect, right? So let's say you looked at your credit report, you see addresses, multiple variations of your name, your last name. You could be a junior, a senior, a first, second, or third. What should you do? So step one would be to contact the credit bureaus. And how you do so is you would send in a change of address letter. And that's something that you can look up online pretty easily. If you Google change of address letter, credit bureaus, you'll find some options there. A simple format, nothing too elaborate. You can mail this off via regular or certified, and pretty much it outlines, or you would outline, what information you want them to update. Also, when you're mailing that letter to all three credit bureaus, be sure to include a recent copy of your utility bill, as well as your driver's license and social security card. Now you may wonder, why do I need to send all of that personal information to the bureaus? Well, the truth is, in the age of identity theft and people assuming one's identity, you want to make sure that you can verify and validate that you are the person that is truly requesting this update to your report. And you don't want them to send you a letter back to say that your letter appears to be suspicious. We don't know if this is you. It could really delay your process with regards to getting things disputed on your credit report that are tied to an address that does not belong to you. So you want to be proactive and give them all of the information needed up front to prevent any sort of lag time required for them to send you back up. We don't know if it's you. You having to now send the information that we're saying you should go ahead and send in the first place. So it just really saves you a lot of time. In addition to that, also put a little tip at the bottom that by doing so, you can boost your credit score when you remove old addresses, because it increases the chance of any negative accounts that are associated with those old addresses being deleted. So if you're disputing, let's say, a Macy's account or a Target account, and it's tied to an address that A, may not belong to you, or B, you don't live there anymore, when you're disputing it and your personal information is accurate, true, and correct, they can't make the correlation between the two. So because of that, they, by default, in most cases, you'll find that those type of accounts will fall off because your personal information is true and up to date. Step 2, you could contact the creditor. Now, basically, the information that is reflected on your credit report is furnished by the creditors. For the most part, that's how the credit bureaus are able to report on you, is because they receive information from data furnishers. So these could be creditors, collectors, etc., who have a vested interest in your credit file. Now, when I mean vested interest, they have an interest in reporting, hey, your payment history, this person is paying on time, they're doing great, this is how much credit they have, they're being responsible, in as much as this person is behind on their bills, they're 30, 60, 90, 120 days late, and this means that we're now sending them to collection, so maybe we don't want to have anyone extend any new lines of credit to them. So we're going to report this information, and that might prompt them to take action and settle that account, which is usually what you find. So pretty much it's helpful to go to the source of the reporting information just to make sure that it's correct. So when they report that to the bureaus, everything is apples to apples. Step 3, if 1 and 2 fail, meaning you reached out to the credit bureaus, you've reached out to the original creditors, and you don't seem to gain any traction, or they're not moving as fast as you would expect, or you've reached out a couple of times and you haven't made any headway, you do have the option to send a notarized letter. And notarized letters are powerful because you're going to a notary and or let's say a UPS store, they also do that as well for you. But basically you would go there, you would provide a proof of a utility bill, something that bears your address. You would also provide a copy of your driver's license, and you would mail this information to the credit bureaus. By doing so with such a powerful document, by having it officially notarized, they're compelled to make sure that this information that you sent them, that it's up to date. And again, don't forget, you do want to make sure that you mail this off, so you do have an audit trail, you have a receipt from the post office knowing that you've mailed this letter within, on this date, and they have 30 days to respond to make sure that they've updated that information per the information outlined in the change of address letter. Last but not least, let's say that your personal information, you follow steps 1 through 3, you've achieved the desired result. You are entitled to a updated copy of your credit report by default because negative or outdated, incorrect information has been updated. In addition to that, you can also request that the credit bureaus send an updated copy of your credit report to anyone who has requested it within the last 6 months, in addition to any employers who have asked to see your credit report within the last 2 years. So this is definitely something very important that you guys should totally think about. I would consider this would be one of the first things that you do when you start the credit repair process. You start with updating your personal information, because this is where all roads lead to your address, your name, your date of birth, your social. All of those things tie back to those sources of or pieces of information that are there. So the closer to accurate, or as accurate as that information is, the higher the probability that if there's anything that is negatively impacting you that is tied to something different than what is being reported, you have a greater chance of getting those things removed. If you have any questions, and or if you would like a copy of a sample change of address letter, definitely feel free to email us at support@healthycredithabits.com. If you found this information useful and helpful, please definitely share it. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Till then, have a great weekend. Get that personal information cleaned up on that credit report, and let's rock out. Take care.